What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Musa Gaming here, and today I want to talk to you about Achilles and why I think I should be expertising Achilles right away as soon as he is released to the game as a cavalry main commander that does have full delta formation, and why I think that some of you guys who actually do have a really good delta set should also consider expertising Achilles for your account as well. But let's just go ahead and start off by saying this. Achilles is not the new Qin Shi Huang. I think everyone recognizes this. Achilles does not have 10,000 damage factor potential within 10 seconds. Let's just go ahead and start off from that. And I think for Achilles to work, you will need, I personally think you will need certain level of armaments built in, special inscriptions in specific, Thrasher and Steel Skin. Those are the two special inscription for scrolls and banners, which are all farmable. But then again, I think those are really needed for you to actually unlock the full potential of Achilles. But let's just go ahead and take a look at his kit real quick. I'm not gonna actually read out everything that there is within his kit. But then again, I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at his kit very quickly so that you understand exactly what he does as a commander. But yeah, Achilles, Pelion Spear. So his active skill does 2,000 damage factor combo attack that is split into two different damage of 1,000 damage factor, and it does march speed reduction, and it is a circular AOE to 5 targets. Really good. Circular AOE is good. March speed reduction is good. The only thing that a lot of people were actually unsure about is the fact that this is a combo attack damage factor of 2,000, which is not really great in 2025, especially the later part of 2025. We're expecting something like, I don't know, 2,400 damage factor, circular AoE, something like that, something crazy like that. But then again, we got another 2,000 damage factor. We saw it in Zhuge Liang 2 years ago. It is what it is. It's not as overwhelming as we were expecting, but I will talk about this. I'll come back to this skill because this skill is actually really important. And then the third part of the skill is actually, it will actually apply a debuff that will buff this skill's damage taken by 5% that stacks up to 3 times. So this has a potential to apply a 15% damage increase based on a number of times that you're hit by Pelion Spear by not only your march, but then again, also other Achilles that are on the field. So remember this skill because this skill is going to be really important. Wings of Arc is not really that important. 40% attack, 20% march speed, and then 10% health bonus when outside of territory. Very generic, not really overwhelmingly good. Let's just go ahead and skip that. Hephaestion armor. I'm going to go ahead and actually talk about it in expertise later, so let's just go ahead and skip this. Sing the Wrath of Achilles. Now, 10% normal damage is mid. And then Pelion skill, whenever you use Pelion skill, you gain 10% bonus to raise speed and 10% bonus to attack for 10 seconds. And it could go up to 20% rage generation, extra rage generation, as well as 20% attack bonus. Now, 20% rage generation is actually really good. So I think this skill is actually an A tier skill. Not S tier, but it's an A tier skill. It's really good skill. It gives you normal damage buff. It gives you extra rage. It gives you extra potential for attack. It is good. Now, his third skill that converts into expertise, Divine Heritage. Now, the first part of it is that this commander is going to take 5% less damage, which is good. All incoming skill damage, combo damage, and counterattack damage reduced by 15%. Whenever this effect reduces a total of 2,500 damage factor, this commander will cast Pelion Spear skill. Now, I think a lot of people are actually really not sure about this second part where he's like, okay, well, 2,500 damage factor, reduce 15%. Like you have to take 16,666.66666 damage. Damage factor, total damage factor skill, for you to actually recast a Pelion Spear skill, right? And this is not really overwhelming to a lot of people. Like this is not really that. This does not look like a really AAA skill, right? But let me just go over all the all the armaments that we actually have on the Delta formation first, and then we're gonna actually come back to the skill, and then how this skill can actually have a crazy synergy with Steel Skin armament later today. But yeah, that's basically what Arthur does. No, Achilles does. Sorry, Achilles does. And two skills that we're gonna focus on today are Pelion Spear and Divine Heritage. Now let's just go ahead and go to the game. And this is my Arthur. And one of the reasons, first of all, one of the reasons why I'm going to expertise Achilles is because I have full Delta Formation special inscriptions on my account. Now, I think it will work for you as well if you have a decent enough Delta Formation. But I think two special inscriptions that you benefit the most off of this commander are Thrasher, which will actually give you 3.5% combo damage boost, damage dealt, boost damage to combo damage dealt. And also at the same time, you get up to 7.5% extra combo damage buff for the next 10 seconds whenever you launch a combo attack. This can stack, yeah, because it stacks up to 5 times, it gives you up to 7.5% bonus to combo damage dealt, right? So this, whenever you use combo damage, you basically do more combo damage. Very, very simple. And then Steel Skin. Now, this commander's troop gains 2% damage resistance. Whenever their troop launches a combo attack, it takes 1.5% less damage for 10 seconds. It stacks up to 5 times. Now, at full stack of this skill, you will be able to actually mitigate up to 9.5% of damage. Right? 9.5% of the damage you can actually mitigate. So this, just go ahead and remember this skill because this is going to be really, really important. Now let's just go ahead and go back to the PowerPoint and take a look at this Divine Heritage skill, right? Let's first talk about this skill and then its synergy with Steel Skin, right? Divine Heritage, it allows you to take 5% less damage. Now, at full stack of Steel Skin, which I'll go over in a second, but it is actually not that difficult for Achilles to actually have full stack of Steel Skin. You have 14.5% less damage taken overall, right? Without actually going into the second part of the skill. So you, first of all, at full stack of Steel Skin, take 14.5% less damage taken. And on top of that, you're going to take additional 15% less damage from skill damage, combo damage, and counterattack damage, right? So for skill damage, combo attack damage, and counterattack damage, you're going to actually take up to 30%, almost 30%, 29.5% less damage from skill damage, combo damage, and counterattack damage, right? Now, with Qin Shi Huang in the field lately, and we've been seeing Qin Shi Huang after Qin Shi Huang after Qin Shi Huang after Qin Shi Huang, right? So we are seeing a lot of skill damage on the field lately, right? But if you have Steel Skin and if you have Divine Heritage expertise, you can take up to 30% less damage of that. That is actually really, really good. And on top of that, there's going to be a lot more Arthur as well as Achilles on the map with the release of Achilles. So I think you're going to take a lot less combo attack damage from that as well. And that is going to actually be really, really good in terms of damage mitigation. 29.5% damage mitigation in total. Now, I think a lot of people actually focuses too much on this second part of the skill, which is good, like 25%, 2500 damage factor. If you mitigate enough to actually reduce 2500 damage factor, then you use a Pelion Sphere skill again. But they actually don't realize that they're actually getting up to 29.5% skill damage, combo damage reduction total if you have Steel Skin activated, fully maxed out. Now, this is not something as crazy as, like, let's say what we have with Chin, which takes like 40% less damage of all things. Like that, we don't have that. But 30% for half of the damage that you basically practically take on the field is actually really good. And then 14.9% damage reduction on all damage taken with Steel Skin maxed out. I think this is actually a pretty decent deal. So that's why I think Divine Heritage, although a lot of people are kind of feeling meh about this skill, could be a pretty good skill. Now, with that said, let's just go back to Pelion Sphere and read this one more time. This is a circular AoE that hits twice to up to 5 targets with combo attack damage, right? So what you're reading here is that you're going to actually use this skill and then hit 5 targets 10 times with combo attacks. 5 targets 10 times with combo attack, right? And when you hit your targets 10 times with a single active skill, what you're gonna actually be able to see from combo attack damage commander. Like, let's, for example, take a look at what my Arthur does. Now, Arthur actually does not hit 10 people with his active skill. He actually hits at max up to 6 people with this skill, right? 1400 damage factor twice to 3 enemies in a fan, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at some of my reports on the field. Let's just take a look at any that I actually have done some damage, right? Oh no, this one I died, so probably not the best example. Let's go ahead and check out. Yeah, like this one, right? I dealt decent enough damage. Let's find out someone that I actually dealt some damage. 6,000 damage, right? There you go. Let's go ahead and take a look at the log. And when Arthur uses his active skill, let's look at what he does. Oh, look at that, right? Arthur triggered the talent Undying Fury. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You triggered 8 times of this Undying Fury within a single turn, right? So you just generated 72 rage from this skill, one active skill that you actually hit, that is only going to hit 60% of the whatever Achilles was going to hit. Right? Again, 72 rage. 72 rage also buffed up if you were actually thinking about whatever his force skill does. If this was buffed up, this could go almost all the way up to 90 rage, right? So this is really, really good, right? But then also at the same time, look at the amount of rage that he generated with Horn of Fury, guys. He procced Horn of Fury, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Wow. He activated Horn of Fury 7 times with his active skill. One active skill. Right? Now, I know that there's a rage cap on how much rage that you can actually generate on this. But every time you use an Arthur skill, every time you use an Achilles skill and you hit more than, I don't know, 3, 4 people, then you're instantly generating max rage generation on any of those, right? Because look at it, like this is already more than half of the rage bar if there was no rage cap, right? This is actually insane. And I just like looked at it. I just looked at a random report, right? It wasn't something that I actually chose before. And then look at that. Oh, another talent. no quarter, another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 procs of rage that you actually gain, right? It is insane how much damage that you can do and how much rage that you can generate, how much things that you can proc with Arthur, who does have less number of units that you can possibly proc with Achilles. So this is how many things that you can proc in a single Arthur's active skill. Now imagine how much things that you will be able to proc with Achilles' skill, which is gonna hit 2 extra targets, guys. 2 extra targets. And just imagine how many of those combo attacks that you can actually apply with Arthur's expertise skill, right? I have 50% chance to launch 1 extra attack, combo attack damage with damage factor 300 damage factor, right? I have, fortunately, I do have butterfly effect now, and it has way more chance for me to actually trigger this, 70% chance. Now imagine me hitting 70 times, like me hitting Achilles' skill to 5 targets, right? That is 10 times of chance of me proccing this. And then even if it gets reduced down to very, very low amount, the number of expertise that Arthur's expertise skill will actually trigger in the single circular AoE that has 5 targets with Achilles' skill is going to be actually insane. Not to mention that it is going to instantly max stack Steel Skin. Again, that 9.5% extra damage reduction on top of the Rasher. That's going to give you a 3.5% combo damage boost and 7.5% combo damage buff is instantly maxed as soon as you hit this. And not to even mention that you have the option of now forging Hero's Hilt. That is going to also most likely get instant max to give you 15% extra combo damage buff. That is going to get buffed up to 20% if you actually have this critted. Right? Is it? Yeah, it will go up to 4% instead of this going to like 65% chance, right? Yeah, 20% extra combo damage boost, damage buff will most likely be fully maxed out as soon as you hit a single Achilles' active skill. So that's just something that I just wanted to go over, because 5 target AoE with 2 times a combo attack in a circular AoE format, if you hit 5 targets, you're gonna proc everything that you can proc within that turn, most likely, right? So I think there can't be a better combo skill that you can ask for than a circular AoE that hits 2 times per each target, because it's going to proc so many different rage generation. It's going to proc so many times of Arthur's expertise. It's going to proc so many times of Arthur's talent tree that has combo attack. Whenever this commander's troop launches a combo or ranged combo attack, it has 10% chance to launch an extra combo attack damage. 10%. This is almost guaranteed to hit in that turn. And it is just going to max out every buff that a combo damage commander will be able to basically have. And if you actually have extra 20% chance to trigger those with butterfly effect, it is going to absolutely destroy the enemy, in my opinion. And on top of that, there is one part of this skill that I think a lot of people are actually undermining, and that is this part right here. The targets are also inflicted by Sunder for 10 seconds, increasing the damage that they receive by Pelion Spear by 5%. This effect can stack up to 3 times. Now, the reason why this is actually very powerful is because this, if you actually convert this into all damage, this is not just 5% up to 15%. This is a heck of a lot more than that. Because for one, let's say all damage, right? You have 40% all damage that you're going to get as soon as you enter Season of Conquest. And I'm assuming that Achilles is going to be only available for those of you who are in Season of Conquest. That's the only time that's going to matter, right? So everyone starts up with 40% all damage buff. And then if you were to actually get, I don't know, 5% extra all damage buff from hitting VIP 17, and let's say you have like 10%, 20% all damage buff from whatever skill set that you have from your commander, then that's like 65%. Adding 15% extra to that is not as powerful as having a brand new effect that's going to multiply extra 15% uplift to the damage lift, right? If you go from 165% of all damage to 180% of all damage, it's not going to have the full damage uplift of 15%. But instead, if you have 15% of debuff applied to the enemy, it's going to separately multiply, and then it's going to actually be more impactful than having often like 20%, 30% all damage dealt, right? So if you have this skill debuff inflicted 3 times on the enemy, because one, you're not the only one who's running Achilles, right? Other people can actually trigger this, right? And most likely there's going to be a lot of Achilles that's going to be on the field. Every single one of the troops might have at least 1 stack of this skill's sundered effect, maybe 2 in average, right? So all of a sudden, the damage factor of this commander skill could be actually just considered 2200 damage factor. Probably not 2300 damage factor, because that means that whatever you're hitting is actually applied with 3 stacks. But most likely you're going to have 2 stacks applied on them. 1 or 2 stacks, right? 2100 damage factor to 2200 damage factor, right? So I think this is a very powerful skill just because it's a debuff. Not necessarily anything that's going to add to all damage and anything that's going to add to combo attack damage buff, because we already have a plenty of buff that would actually buff those things. But rather, it's a separate thing. It's going to be a debuff. It's going to be applicable from other people who are using Achilles. I think this is actually a lot better than what people might think. And that third part, I think a lot of people are undermining because they have not actually seen this in action in the game, and probably will never find out, even if they actually do come into the game, because they will not look at troop logs like I do. Like, I just took a look at my my reports, and I was like, oh, why is this? Why am I doing so well? Why am I not doing so well? And there's very few people who actually go into their own reports and kind of evaluate all that, right? Like, and most people will not actually do that, right? And when I do look at those things, I would actually find out, and you will find out if you do go ahead and once Achilles is actually into the game and you take a look at it, chances are that you'll find 1 or 2 sunder stacks most likely apply to yourself or to the enemies that are fighting against Achilles almost all the time, right? So I think for those reasons, for one, because this is a 5 target AoE that does 2 times combo attack that will trigger every single thing that combo damage can potentially trigger within a single turn. I think Achilles is a must-have for myself. And 2, because of the synergy that Divine Heritage has with 5% less damage and 15% skill damage, combo damage, counterattack damage reduction has with the current combo attacks special inscription for banner that everyone can get eventually, though, by the way. This is the one that you can actually get from the pity shop, from Armament shop, for selling enough legendary armaments. Everyone can get this, right? And once you have this, the chances are that you're going to have a lot of damage mitigation, most likely 14.5% all damage mitigation, and on top of that, 15% skill damage, counterattack damage, and combo attack damage reduction. That let's say it reduces half of the damage, and let's say 15% in average is going to give you 7.5% damage mitigation on the field, right? So that even then, 7.5% plus 19.5% is 27% damage mitigation, right? Wait, hold on. No, 14.5%, sorry. 14.5% damage mitigation plus 7.5%. That's already what? 22% damage mitigation? Yeah. It's actually really, really good, I think. And every time you use an active skill of Achilles, you're gonna actually max stack this steel skin because it's gonna hit 10 targets, right? And whenever you launch a combo attack, you're gonna actually take 7.5% less damage for the next 10 seconds. And anytime you actually use an active skill Achilles, this is gonna be instantly maxed out, right? So that's why I'm personally going to expertise Achilles. I know that there's a lot of speculation around him on whether or not he's good or not, but I think we have never seen a circular AoE of combo damage that hits twice on every single target that you hit. And I think a lot of people are undermining the power of that. And that's why I think Achilles does deserve a really, really good attention to all those people who are using combo damage on the field, especially if you have special inscriptions such as Thrasher, as well as Sealskin, in my opinion. All right. I hope you guys actually enjoyed today's video, though. If you guys did, please go ahead and drop me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I'll see you guys all in the next video. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. All right. Peace.